Hello everyone, this is Missy Sports, Senior Behavioral Supervisor at Tony Sports Games, here to address an incident that occurred in Episode 5 of the Ragin Cajuns Road to Glory Dynasty series. During this episode, while reading through a list of players who are transferring away from Louisiana, Tony made some comments that are inconsistent with our values here at Tony Sports Games. He said, and I quote, "The big ha ha, Ginger, the big gingerbread man, ha ha, goodbye, Kevin," end quote. These remarks are insensitive and do not in any way represent our beliefs here at Tony Sports Games. We apologize to offensive tackle Kevin Johnston and his imaginary family and to all others who may have been offended by Tony's unfortunate remarks. Here at Tony Sports Games, we believe that all warm-haired people... This is so stupid.
No, it's fine. Just keep going.
Okay, fine. We believe that all warm-haired people deserve inclusion and respect, even though gingers might not have souls. Okay, no, I'm not reading this.
Baby, it's fine. Just read it.
No, this is stupid and inappropriate and not true, and I'm not reading that.
Okay, fine. Look, I'll cut that part out. Okay, can you just finish?
You better.
Okay,
fine.
Just finish.
So stupid. Again, we apologize, and the matter has been dealt with internally, so it won't happen again. There, I did it. Are you happy?
Yes, thank you.
This is so stupid.
I love you. Okay, thanks, babe. See you later. I have everything I need. All right. Welcome in, everybody. It is time for episode 7. Now, we are sitting at the spring games, and we're going to go ahead and go through spring games and our training camps, and we'll just see how long that takes to kind of talk through some things. I did want to address something right off the bat. This gentleman right here, I mentioned in the last episode, I felt a little guilty about signing the number 1 recruit in the country, Herman Paul. I did not get a clear answer back from the devs or anyone if they could say for sure it was a bug, but I'm just fairly sure that it was a bug that the number 1 overall player in the country committed to the University of Louisiana and that he had 0 offers in the portal. So I want to be fair. I don't want to take advantage of a weird bug where the number 1 player decommits and no one offers them in the late window. So what we have done, I think this is fair. We have turned our 5-star into a 3-star. So as you can see, his ratings now align much more closely with the caliber of player we may have been able to recruit fair and square. So I didn't change any of his intangibles. I didn't change any of his position skill. He actually has a lot in 3 different positions, which that's sweet. But as you can see, he's been taken down a notch. So down to 43 in strength, 78 agility, 59 intelligence, 53 tackling, 78 speed, and 39 hands. I think I hit the speed and hands and probably strength the hardest, but I have to go back and look. But so we got him under 80 overall. Unfortunately, he's still our best corner. But so we just wanted to let you guys know that off the top. Now, going into the spring game, let's just go right into it here. So how useful is the spring game is a good question, and it probably depends who you ask as to what their opinion on it is. My opinion, I don't use it for much. Typically I use it to evaluate maybe not so much like someone that's a returning starter that I know will be a starter again, but maybe evaluate some younger players, or if I know there's some close position battles, just to throw some guys in there. But um, you may take more advantage of it and use it, or you might totally ignore it and just skip through it. I think either approach is fine. I don't think you gain a huge amount of intel from it, but what I've gone ahead and done for ours is I am going to use the default package. So I let the coach set the default package, and then I basically just went in and I changed a few things so that a lot of our freshmen would get some playing time. So you can see we will have Enriquez and Edwards both play at quarterback. Our freshman running backs, Levy and Elliott, will play at receiver. We have some of our Kimbrell's the guy we redshirted last year, but besides that, Deloach and Justice are freshmen. I have Norman and Felder set to split reps at tight end. We'll just see how they do. I think at least one of these guys is going to be a tight end, maybe both even, but one of them anyway. And on defense, let's see. I kind of let him set it up. Of course, I put Peter Younger in just to see how he would do. And let's put Peter Younger on the other side just for funsies. So let's put Homer Davis and Peter Younger. Put him against the right tackle. Put Paul Cox in at middle linebacker. And then we have a discussion before training camps to make with Leo Armstead, and especially with Leo and where's our strong safety? Oh, you know what? I didn't start him. Oh, that's right. I didn't start a strong safety in the spring game because I want to see if any of these other safeties can play strong safety well, because I'm considering a position switch, but we are limited on the number of guys we have to be able to do that. So I think we've set up enough to get through this spring game just fine, and I'll leave this stuff the same. We're going to put the default package in for everything. Yeah. So let's go ahead and advance spring game, complete our spring games, and then we should be, we're into training camps now. So let's take a look at our spring game. Let's see, final score was 23-21. And let's see, offensive player of the game was Donald McLean, 5 receptions for 140 yards. Defensive player of the game, Peter Younger, 7 tackles and 2 sacks. That is terrific to see. All right, cool. Let's see. Looks like the defense had the upper hand for the most part in this. Let's see. We had a field goal, 1-yard touchdown, field goal, 1-yard run, 52-yard touchdown pass, Michael Deloach from Greg Enriquez. That's nice to see. A big play there. James Kimbrell, 31-yard touchdown pass. So a couple big touchdown passes, but let's see. I guess I should say, I guess it was fairly even. I mean, 500 total yards, but that's both teams combined. Only 4 of 29 on third downs, so our third down offense wasn't very good. The defense won third down, but you see passing, we passed for 349 combined, of course, 8 yards an attempt. That's pretty healthy. Rushing, 148 rushing yards on 70 attempts, so 2.1 yards per rush. So that was an issue. Yeah. So let's take a look here. We have Greg Enriquez, 10 of 23. So under 50% for 154 yards, 2 touchdowns, sacked 3 times. Edwards, it's funny, our more mobile quarterback sacked 7 times. I suppose because he was playing with the second team offensive line, but 11-22 for 195, a touchdown, 0 picks, which I guess you could look at these things either way. Good for our quarterbacks for not throwing picks, or bad that our secondary can't get any picks. Let's see, out of our 2 running backs, neither one did anything. The only effective rusher was our dual threat quarterback, or maybe he's a single threat because he's just a good runner, but Richard Edwards ran for 61 yards on 6 attempts. So one note I'll take away from this is the quarterback run game. The door looks to be open, and the rest of the running game looks like it's a question mark. We'll have to really try to get a better offensive line in. Receivers, Justice catches 7 of 12 targets. McLean catches 5 of 5. That's nice to see. So McLean with a very clean day. Deloach only 3 of 6, but for some explosive plays. Kimbrel 2 of 6, but an explosive play there. Felder was targeted at tight end. The other guy was not. Norman did not draw a target, even though he played some tight end. So I guess that is what it is. Looks like the kickers kicked well, especially Marshall. Estrada missed 1. Marshall was 2 for 2, so maybe he has a little leg up there. I know Estrada started for us last year, but 2 punts. This is not really a competition because Fernandez is quite a bit better, but kick returns. Anyone have a good kick return? Corral, Parker, and Sturgis both had decent kick returns. And Beck, Richard Beck, a corner, had a 60-yard punt return. That's nice to see. And then on defense, let's see. Paul Cox, 9 tackles, 2 TFLs. Harry Hughes, 84 tackling, 83 speed. So maybe an outside linebacker, especially if we move Armstead. But maybe either way. Armstead with 7 tackles, a TFL, and a sack. Younger played quite well. Carrico, our freshman free safety, played quite well. Yeah, I mean, we already knew before we even got into this that we're going to have some freshmen contributing a lot this year. Did anyone allow a sack? Yep, Salgado allowed 2 sacks. I guess he was lined up against Peter Younger. So speed rushers are an issue for Salgado. He's got decent strength. He's got decent pass blocking. You know, he has pretty good speed and agility for a tackle. He just, doesn't have great hands, but most offensive linemen don't. I don't know why he didn't perform well. I would think he'd be a little more steady in pass protection, but so he gave up 2 sacks. Also, this John Harris, which he's more of a run blocker, so we're not worried about that. He gave up 2 sacks. And Brandt, who is Brandt? Sophomore guard. There's a portal guy. Yeah, Miami, Florida to the Cajuns. More of a run blocker also, so we don't have to worry about that. Elliott, running back. Okay. And Cervantes did give up a sack, but he's not getting benched. We know we're going to need him. Okay. So that's the spring game. Let's move on to training camps. Now, training camps can be quite an important part of your season. It's especially how I have things set up. This is our biggest chance to make gains on the year. So before we go over the actual schedules everyone's on, let's take a look at possible position changes. Now, quarterback, I'm not going to change any of these guys. Running back, I think we're going to leave all these guys. So we're going to move past that. Fullback, we'll move past that. Tight end. So what we have at tight end right now is, we have Cook, who was a converted receiver from last year and has 70 speed and 93 hands and 80 agility. So he has high agility and hands, not very good speed. Although, you know what? He has better speed than the 2 receivers this year that could possibly get moved to tight end. So, yeah, I don't know. Could we change him back to receiver and change the other 2 guys to tight end? That's definitely a possibility. Felder and Norman, these are the 2 guys. They're both pretty big, 6'4", 203. They're both 6'4", 203. Felder only has 35 tight end skill right now, and he has 90 skill as a receiver. Norman's pretty skilled as a receiver also, but he starts out with 45 tight end skill, which is pretty good. And he's a little bit stronger, for whatever that's worth. I'm going to do something a little wild here. I'm going to change both these guys to tight end. for training camp. And whoever gains less positional skill is a potential to be changed back, I think. It does leave us very short on bodies at wide receiver. We only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we really need to change one of these guys to receiver. Hold on. Would it be, what about Cook? Why not Cook? He's got a little better speed. He still has good agility and really good hands. I'm going to do Cook. Let's just do it. I don't know. This is a little, strange, but well, let's just do it. Maybe both these guys' profile is better tight ends than Cook anyway. And Cook, he doesn't have very good intelligence, but with decent agility and extremely good hands, he can definitely be a slot receiver, at least a second string slot receiver. We don't have any traits. So wide receiver is still a position we need to build up quite a bit more. Now, moving forward here to guard, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guards, or 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 guards. Wow. So we have 10 guards. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tackles and 3 centers. Okay. So let's look first. We might have to position change somebody. So we have 4 good to decent pass blockers at guard. None of them are very strong at all, which is an issue. We need some of these guys to gain a few points in strength. That's a big, big issue. So pass blocking, I'm a bit concerned about that, and because they're all so weak, I don't think we should change any of those guys to a different position. Now, run blocking, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost 7. We've got that have good run blocking skill, and out of that, we've got great strength, good strength, great strength, passable strength. So we've really got 4 already, I would say. They're pretty reliable. So do we need run blockers at either tackle? Let's see, we've got 4 decent options here and pretty decent strength. So we're okay there. Center, okay. We need some help at center for run blocking. See, our highest graded center for run blocking is only 69. So let's go back to guards. We need to choose one of these top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys to become a center. And you want to do it before training camps because this is our best chance to gain some skill. So let's write down some options here. I don't have my pen, but we'll write it down in our head. So we have Brandt, who already has 48 positional skill at center. That's a decent option. Bear has 41. That's decent. Mayberry has 33. That's some. They're going to gain quite a bit at camp. Ramirez has some. Jeffrey Guess has a little. Okay. Maybe a better metric would be, does anyone not have very much guard skill? Mathis doesn't really have that much. And Hector Bear doesn't have that much. Okay. So, and Joseph Andrews has a fair amount. So Andrews, Bear, or Mathis potentially. Okay. We are going to change. Is Joseph Andrews the guy that gave up a million sacks? Yes, he is. But he was a little better run blocker. All right. We're going to change Joseph Andrews and Carlos Ramirez to center. Ramirez is a freshman, so if he has a good camp and gains a lot of skill in center, he could be a long-term answer at center for at least run blocking. Maybe he could become a pass blocker too. He's not very athletic, but so we're going to do Ramirez and Andrews or Bear. Let's see. Andrews is very slow. Speed actually matters a little bit on center because if you run sweeps and things like that. I'm going to do Andrews, I think. Bear needs to get a little stronger before we do anything with him. We'll do Andrews. Let's change him to center. Okay. So that's all good. Now, is anyone strong and not a good blocker at all? This guy right here, Greer. 89 strength, 49 agility, 63 intelligence, 52 tackling. And he's not a good blocker in any case, so he will never block for us. Now, he's kind of undersized, to be fair. But, I mean, okay, defensive end or defensive tackle? Because remember, I need some big defensive ends. Do I have any? I don't have any really big defensive ends yet. I've got a bunch of defensive tackles. I'm going to be playing 3-3-5. So let's change Greer to not a defensive tackle, but a defensive end. He's going to be really bad overall. Just letting you guys know. But now, is he decent work ethic, decent intelligence? Yeah, we're going to try it. So Greer is going to be a defensive end, not a defensive tackle. Oh, look at that. He's actually better. He's better than he was as a guard. Okay, so now we're left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guards. That's a good number. We've got run blocking. We've got pass blocking. Tackles. We've got pass blocking is not great, but I think all three of these guys are playable for the type of size of school we are. And centers, we've got a couple, well, I guess both those guys we just moved over. Oh, no, that was Ramirez. So we have Bradshaw, who we recruited to be a pass blocker. And then we got a couple options there, too. So, okay. Feel good about that. Next thing, who is this guy? Schmidt. Boy, he's very, very slow. Okay, the other thing I would need to decide is this Baldwin or even possibly Farrell? Yeah, it's going to be Farrell, isn't it? Because he has pretty decent speed. He's just not very strong. Alright, so we're going to change him to defensive end. And so we're left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 defensive tackles. That's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 defensive ends. Not going to change any of them. Linebacker. The one decision that needs to be made here. Are we going to leave Leo Armstead at linebacker or move him to like possibly strong safety? He is pretty weak for a linebacker. I think he's our weakest linebacker, or tied for it. He is very positionally skilled as a linebacker, and he doesn't have much for strong safety, although he'll gain some. He has great work ethic and good intelligence. Really nice tackling, and he is fast enough to be a strong safety. He's only 227. See, the thing is, this guy we just recruited, though, Lewis Johnson, he's 6'3", 206, so he would be very small if we were to change him to, say, linebacker. But I think we need to leave Leo Armstead at linebacker. Yeah. So we're going to leave him. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 corners. We need someone to be a corner. And I only have 2 strong safeties, so it can't be one of them. So it's got to be one of these guys. So we have Carrico, Longo, Lovett, Markham, and Gould. And they're all going to be, for corner standards, quite good tacklers. Did I write anything down? Longo or Markham, I wrote down. Longo, he doesn't have any corner skill, for whatever that's worth. He has good work ethic. He's not very intelligent. Markham, a little more intelligent, pretty good work ethic, a little more corner skill. Boy, what about Markham? He's not very big. He's not extremely agile. None of these guys really, though, are super agile, are they? Tell you what, let's do something similar here at free safety. Let's move... I actually want to leave Longo a free safety because he has the best speed out of the whole bunch. And we'll leave Carico, I think. So let's take... Let's see, Lovett, Markham, Gould. Let's take Lovett and make him a slow corner. Actually, he could be a strong safety probably, huh? 75 tackling, 71 speed. Yeah, this is a strong safety. So we're going to make Lovett a strong safety. And then we're going to take Gould or Markham and make them a corner. Markham's 5'10", Gould's 6 foot. Gould's more intelligent. They're the same tackler. Oops, sorry. Who has better intangibles? Better work ethic. Gould, not such great work ethic. So Markham. So we're going to make Markham a corner here. And right now he's 81 overall. Let's make him a corner. 84 overall. Okay, great. I have an idea in mind of how to do this. A system for moving forward. And here's basically the idea. I have this set up in such a way that most guys, I'm going to push everybody. You can see right here under training the names of the schedules I have guys on. I'm starting everyone, almost everyone. There's a couple guys that are seniors and it's just not worth it to try and push them. So I am starting a few guys on 22, but here's all my training schedules. I have a whole bunch of them. So what I've done is I set up some schedules with just 22 points. These are considered safe. You will never have guys fatigue on 22, or almost never. You shouldn't. So I have positional, where there's 7 in positional, physical, 7 in physical, so on and so forth. Okay. Everyone else, what I went ahead and did was I wrote down all the guys that had at least, I think it was either 90 or 91 work ethic. So I sorted like this. I took down everyone down to, I think, Rubio here. Had 91 or greater work ethic. Enriquez, I am going to try not to fatigue. I think he can handle 23, but I'm not going to start him on 24. He's got to be our starting quarterback, so he's not somebody I really want to fatigue. But everybody else, if they had, like Stamper here, he has 99 work ethic, so I'm going to start him out on a 24-point schedule. Here's how this is going to work from now on, okay? Everyone is starting on a 23, or if they have great work ethic, a 24-point training schedule. If someone fatigues, so let's say Edwards, who has pretty decent work ethic, but let's say Richard Edwards fatigues. What I will do is I will move him down to the 22-point schedule, and he will stay there, either whether it's the rest of his career or until this improves enough, or I decide this is not worth my time and I just put him on athletic to try to get the agility up, whatever the case may be. So he should never fatigue again. For instance, any of the guys with super high work ethic that stay on a 24-point schedule all year long and don't fatigue, the next year at training camps, I will put them on a 25-point schedule, which I haven't made yet because I'm not going to need it till next year. But anyone who fatigues from a 23-point schedule during this season, I will move down to a 22-point and they will stay there. And then even if any of the high work ethic guys, if they happen to fatigue on a 24-point schedule, I'll just move them down to 23. And then what we'll do from now on is just incoming freshmen, based on their work ethic, we'll start them on either 23 or 24. They should fatigue once, and they'll move down to 22 or 23, and they should be good the rest of their career. So these are the schedules as I have them set up. Now, Marshall is the one specialist who has super high work ethic, so I'm starting him on 23, but not 24. The other specialists, I'm just starting at 22. Because you'd hate to have both your punters fatigue and miss a game, and I don't even know how your team would punt. But other than that, that's how I have this set up. The only thing I have left to do here is choose the players that my coaches are going to focus. And I wrote down, now of course, this staff, our new staff, they are not great at development, but I did write down what each person is best at. So for Roland Shepard, it's just physical. He has no particular position he's best with. For Solomon Phillips, our offensive coordinator, his is youngsters and linebackers, but he's an offensive coordinator, so he can't train linebackers. So youngsters and detail, which just means taking players basically from good to great. So not a lot there. And then Dorian Keefe, our defensive coordinator, youngsters. He's actually a better offensive trainer, but youngsters and special teams. I don't know if he can train a special teamer or not. It's probably a waste of time. But so let's take a look at some of our most important players we think going into this season. So for our head coach, I'm actually going to. He said physical is his best thing. Hector Bear has a pretty healthy work ethic, and he's a helpful athlete, decent social type. He needs to gain strength. He needs to gain 4 or 5. Really, if he could gain 6 or 7 points of strength during his time in college, that would be great. But even if he could gain a few, that would be awesome. So let's have our head coach focus Hector Bear. Now, just because you focus someone with the coach does not guarantee they're going to get extra progress, but I think it's worth a shot. Our offensive coordinator says he's good with youngsters, so let's have him focus our quarterback, Greg Enriquez. And our defensive coordinator, is he able to focus a special teams player? No, he's not. So he's good with youngsters also. Let's have him focus, I think Paul Cox, right? That's our guy. That's my dude. Now I have Paul on positional. The most important thing for him to gain is tackling, in my eyes. If he gets this to the high 70s, then maybe some speed later in his career. But I think just to be a middle linebacker, he's very agile. I think tackling. So let's do Paul Cox. Where is he? There he is. Okay. I like that. Let's save in case anything bad happens. And we're going to go ahead and advance through our training camps, which we're going to do right here. And here's some of the best gains. Wow, best gainer in the whole league, this Marcelo Simmons for Fresno State. How did this guy gain so much? Wow. 3-inch strength. He's a defensive tackle. Now, he's still very weak, so 6 hands, 11 tackling, 10 endurance. Wow, quite a camp. Are any of these other guys, Western Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana, Navy, Pittsburgh, Louisville? Okay, I don't see the same schools repeating here. Sometimes if you see the same school has 2 or 3 out of the top, 10 or so gainers, you can actually take a look at their staff. Oh, Ohio. Ohio was listed twice, right? Oh, no. Yep, Ohio. Okay. So what you can do, let's take a look at the old Mid-American Conference. And let's look at Ohio. Let's look at their staff. Who's their head trainer? Daryl Sampson. He's a motivator. He has, let's zoom out just a little bit. He only has 1 star in development, but 2 in physical. I'm going to make a note of this guy, Daryl Sampson. He's pretty loyal, but in the future, maybe we could try to hire him to be our head trainer. He's obviously pretty good at his job. So, team viewer, we need to go back to the Sunbelt back home to Louisiana. So let's take a look at how we did. We didn't get an email from the medic, which I'm shocked. Okay, our kicker, who is a very hard worker, Ethan Marshall, had the best camp. He gained 1 in kick accuracy and 1 kick distance. Hey, that's terrific. That's what matters. So that's good. And then John Justice had a great camp. And he gained, is he a slot receiver? No, just normal, just a receiver. He gained 1 in hands, that's big. 5 in endurance, that's okay. 1 in agility, that's big. And 1 intelligence. Cool. So a couple points in places that matter. And then Peter Younger with a big, oh, he is fatigued. Okay, we'll have to go through and fix this. He had a big camp as well, supposedly. What did he gain? Oh, wow. 8 in tackling, 6 in endurance, 2 more in agility, and another 1 in speed, and 2 more intelligence. Yeah, this is a great camp for Peter. So good for him. Now he's fatigued. Several guys are going to be fatigued. So what we're going to have to go do is fix that in some areas. But the players we position switched. Matthew Greer gained 30, so he's only up to 31 in skill, but he's still strong and actually decently fast. He could actually see the field at defensive end. We'll see, but that's okay. Did he gain anything else in camp? Let's see. He gained, well, I guess not, because it would be this most recent one. It says 1 agility and 1 speed. And then Shaka Lovett. Let's see. He gained, okay, up to a decent 45. He's almost out of, he might be out of where there's a penalty, but hands and speed, not bad. And then Farrell, the guy we turned over from defensive tackle, which, you know what, he wasn't skilled at defensive tackle anyway, so I think this guy was always meant to be a defensive end, but he didn't gain any points. Okay. Peter Younger with the best camp, 21 points gained, absolutely tremendous. And I think, before I forget, let's just have our defensive coordinator focus him the rest of the season, because he's obviously very attentive. Herman Paul, our 5-star, turned into a 3-star, trying to claw his way. He's probably very confused at what happened to his powers, but he, of course, lost quite a bit in little hands, agility, speed, intelligence. But he worked hard. He gained a little back, so good for him. He's a dog. He's a dog. 11 for Justice. We had no one make any losses, so that's a great sign that we have a staff that's doing their jobs as intended. So our top gainers were John Justice, Herman Paul, and Peter Younger. I think I will have the head coach focus Peter Younger the rest of the season, the defensive coordinator focus Herman Paul, and the offensive coordinator focus John Justice. Let's go ahead and do that. Peter Younger, John Justice. By the way, I have not proven that this guarantees they're going to keep gaining more during the season or anything. But if they had a big training camp, it means that they had a successful training, quote-unquote, interaction with our coaching staff. So there's a higher chance that these players' personalities match up well with our coaches. So it's not a bad idea to do this. Like I say, it guarantees great success. But now we have a captain button now. That's great. Our team captains have been elected. Benjamin Liu, senior defensive end with 100 leadership. Not very strong or fast, so not sure if he's going to be playing or leading from the bench, but good for him. Our fullback, Joseph Clinton, who is pretty fast for a fullback, decent strength, and a good run blocker. Yeah, he's going to be on the field for sure. That's a solid fullback. We like that. And our punter. Wow, the punter gets team captain. Don Fernandez. He's a decent punter. Was he the one that started all year? Yep, he is. So he's our starting punter. All right, cool. So those are our captains. Recruiting is going to start next episode. So we're in. We're all the way in. It's week 1, baby. It's time to get this season rolling. So here's what we have to do before we can advance. We will need to set our depth charts. And in order to set our depth charts, we will have to decide on our offensive and defensive systems, schemes that we're going to run this year. We also will have to set our strategy. We'll have to build our playbooks, and we will be building playbooks. We will discuss our defense that I have schemed up in my head, and we'll see if it is going to work, but we'll have to do that. So we'll have to do depth charts, we'll have to do playbooks, we will have to do strategy, game plans, and definitely not last or least, maybe it'll be last, but definitely not least, we have to start recruiting, baby. It is time to start recruiting. What a wonderful, wonderful time of year. So that's all going to have to wait, though. For now, this is where we end for today. We are off and running, and we're headed on a collision course for a matchup with some hated in-state rivals. Oh, by the way, some of you might be interested to know this. I have been digging in on Twitter to try to become a better Louisiana Lafayette Ragin Cajun guy. I've learned some things about our fans. It seems like we actually hate LSU more than ULM, from what I've read online. So I don't know if anyone watching is at all associated with the state of Louisiana or the Ragin Cajuns or even ULM. If you could comment, is that true? Do all the other schools in the state just hate LSU because they're big and they suck up so much money and resources and have more political influence, or is this rivalry game as big as I've been making it out to be? Anyway, let me know if you have any thoughts on that, but otherwise, I think we've done about enough. So thanks for being with us through spring game and training camps, and I can't wait to dig into this season. We are, you guessed it, on the road to glory, and eventually we will be victorious. We will win the Sun Belt. We will win the Louisiana state title, whether we have to take down the Tigers, Tulane, the Bulldogs, the Warhawks, all of them. All of them in the same week, maybe. We'll win the Sun Belt. We'll go to those playoffs. And we will not only go there, but we will win a game. And we will climb to the top of the mountain together, led by Roland Shepard, our coach extraordinaire. I can't wait to see you there. We're going to kick off the season next episode. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.